Going on YouTube? Today we're going to be working on installing a cold air intake on this 2007 Dodge Durango. It's the V8 4.7 liter. We're going to start off by removing the plastic intake hose to give us some space to work with. Next up we're going to do is we're going to remove this top plastic piece of the manifold. To do so you need a 10mm socket. On the other side it's this bolt that you're going to have to remove. It's also size 10mm. Once you remove both bolts, the top plastic part of the manifold will come right out. We're going to leave it on just so the manifold doesn't get dirty. Next we're going to work on removing the air box right there where the filter's at. Which will be right here. To remove the box, you're going to need a 13mm socket. It's going to be 2 bolts right here. Before doing so, you can start taking the box apart, like if you're replacing the air filter. Move the breather hose. And undo the box. By undoing the box, you're going to have to remove 3 clamps. One's right here. There's another one back here on the side. And then there's one back here by the battery. Now you just remove the top part of the box. Remove the air filter. Now the bottom part of the box should come right out. Now with everything removed, we're going to remove the top plastic part of the intake so we can install the cold air intake. While removing the box, be careful. Don't forget to disconnect the sensor that's right on the plastic box. On the sensor, it goes right into that hole. All you have to do is turn it and pull it out. On the new intake, it has these holes already pre-made, so you can install the sensors where they need to be. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on connecting the new intake to the air intake manifold. For the bigger part, you can go ahead and take off the clamp from your main intake, the little top box that we took off right now. Now that this part is in, we're going to tighten it. In this part of the old intake, we're going to remove this clip so we can use it because it didn't come with a big one like this. Before installing the top piece of the air intake manifold, we're going to remove the breather hose. To remove the breather hose, it's a little difficult because it's far in the back. To take it out, you're going to pull it up. So you can see all the way back there. So you can see all the way back there, that's where the breather hose is going to connect. We're going to connect that now. This is the replacement breather hose. So I've been having trouble trying to connect that breather hose. What we're going to end up doing is removing the last spark plug coil so we can have more space back there to work on. To remove the spark plug, you're going to need either a 10mm wrench or a 10mm deep socket. Now with the extra space, let's go ahead and try to connect the hose again. The hose is being very stubborn to put on. I know it's because of the cold weather. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of the synthetic blend grease around the metal part of the breather hose that's sticking out there. That way it can slide right on. I went ahead and just added grease to that piece of metal right here. which is where the breather hose needs to connect to. A little bit of the synthetic grease so it doesn't damage the plastic or the rubber hose, and it should slide on. Let's give it another try. Nice, it slid right in. Now before we move any further from here, I'm going to reconnect the last spark plug distributor boot and a sensor that I had to disconnect back there. What we're going to do now is start connecting the cold air intake. To get a tighter fit, the intake came with an additional piece of plastic tubing that can go around the manifold right back here. So we're going to go ahead and warm it up in the sun a bit so we can stretch it over that piece. After warming it up in the sun a bit, we're able to slip it on. If you have a heat gun, that'll work too. Just be careful with it. After installing the sensor, it should look just like that. And we're going to bring the breather hose right over the top. The breather hose should look like this, right over the top. From all the way back there. Now we're going to move on to the final part, which will be adding the air filter. Once you put the rubber connector in place, you're going to go and slide the clamps over. I'm going to slide both of them over. Once they're on, we're going to go and connect it to the other piece of the metal for the intake. And finally, we're going to go ahead and put the cone filter. This is what the final product should look like. All the way from the top, including the breather. And the filter goes all the way down there. Go ahead and test it out. Let's see how it sounds.